Now you see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years, Khaleesi.
Blake Lively has bragged about her big friendships in Hollywood, but it seems like she's losing her steam, and now she was just dropped by Taylor Swift.
In the business, right? Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
And I have to say that the blowback to Ryan Reynolds, I think, is going to be pretty severe because his whole image is this cool guy who's very easy to get along with, friends with everybody, jokey. But if it turns out that he's standing sort of in the wings and the shadows, ready to go after anybody who crosses Blake Lively's bizarre machinations, that's not a great look for him.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What is that text? First of all, I don't know if Blake Lively remembers how Game of Thrones ended.
Right. No,
with that
for sure.
text message. Two, I don't think Taylor Swift would like to be called like a little minion. Like saying it's my little dragon is basically like I have a little minion.
No,
I have a little minion named Taylor Swift.
No.
And Ryan Reynolds.
I mean,
my little
you
monsters.
can't be calling yourself Khaleesi.
No, you can't.
You
Like,
just can't.
I think I'm just brunette because of the books. And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Over there. Moment by me.
Does Taylor Swift now have bad blood with Blake Lively? TMZ has learned that Taylor Swift feels she was used by Blake Lively in her war against Justin Baldoni, and she resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. As we reported, there was a critical meeting at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' New York City penthouse with Justin to discuss a scene that Blake had rewritten for It Ends With Us. Justin has said that the meeting got super heated and he felt ambushed because Ryan and Taylor showed up. But a well-connected source close to Taylor tells TMZ.
All right, this Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni drama is getting messier and messier by the day after years of friendship, and support rumors are swirling that Taylor has suddenly distanced herself and Blake is not taking it well. But what really happened? And why did Taylor stop backing her? Let's get into the drama.
Lively says in a text message that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. That's, again, believed to be the other person. And that...
No,
you
you can't.
like, just can't.
Calling herself Khaleesi.
No.
These are my little monsters. And
No.
What?
No.
Like, when I first saw those messages from Blake Lively, I was like, are these photoshopped? Like, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is having bad blood with Blake Lively. I am not your dragon.
Does Taylor Swift now have bad blood with Blake Lively? TMZ has learned that Taylor Swift feels she was used by Blake Lively in her war against Justin Baldoni, and she resents Blake calling her one of her dragons.
So remember that what Taylor had told Justin was that Blake herself, she said, was Khaleesi, who was the queen in Game of Thrones, and Ryan, her husband, and Taylor were her dragon.
Looks like Taylor Swift is putting some distance between herself and longtime friend Blake Lively. And it all has to do with a messy legal battle. Reports say Taylor isn't happy about being dragged into the ongoing feud between Blake and her It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni.
He didn't know he was going to be ambushed with both Ryan there and Taylor Swift there. And we're thinking, oh, well, Blake is saying Taylor was her dragon and she's there, so she got involved and to protect her.
Right.
So we're thinking, wow, Taylor Swift inserted herself in this. That didn't happen according to our sources.
No, what happened was more of a happenstance meeting between Taylor and Justin, and Taylor, I say happenstance, Taylor thinks it was done intentionally
by Blake.
Sources say Taylor feels hurt, and like she's been used as a pawn in the situation. She's apparently taking a step back from both Blake and Ryan Reynolds, with one insider revealing that she wants no part in this drama. Taylor has always been a loyal friend, but she doesn't appreciate being caught in the middle of someone else's issues.
We're told that Taylor felt that's kind of weird to say about a friend. It's weird to call a friend a dragon. And, Blake tried to say in her text message something like, these two are my dragons. They stand up for me when I can't stand for myself. They're well respected in the industry. It's hit well with Taylor.
Oh, no. We know it didn't sit well.
And it got worse since then
Because then Taylor started to ask questions, we're told, and she's found out that Blake, according to our sources, has been name-dropping Taylor to kind of, flex.
Sort of leveraging Taylor in specifically in one instance, telling an actress that she had been cast by.
Rumors started swirling when DailyMail.com reported that Taylor had already started distancing herself from Blake. Things got even more obvious when she skipped the SNL 50th anniversary special despite being invited because Blake was on the guest list, according to a source that was definitely not a situation Taylor wanted to be in.
That was the time Blake told Taylor to come over.
And Taylor had no idea that there was any meeting going on.
No idea at all.
That anybody else was going to be there.
And she believes, we're told, that Blake set her up and wanted her to come in when Justin was still there to show Blake's power.
Right.
And so
which is how Justin received it. He said that in his lawsuit.
Which you would understand.
Right.
So Taylor walks in, had never met Justin before, and just basically looks at him, and the only thing she said, we're told, is, good luck on your movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
All this chaos has made Taylor rethink her friendships. She's reportedly being more careful about who she surrounds herself with, especially after this whole Blakegate situation, another insider said. She's realizing that some people might be using her name for personal gain, and she's not here for it with. A new album on the way. Taylor is done with the drama. She's shocked by how deep she got pulled into this mess, and isn't about to let anything or anyone mess with her career.
Taylor Swift now have bad blood with Blake Lively. TMZ has learned that Taylor Swift feels she was used by Blake Lively in her war against Justin Baldoni, and she resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. As we reported, there was a critical meeting at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' New York City penthouse with Justin to discuss a scene that Blake had rewritten for It Ends With Us. Justin has said that the meeting got super heated and he felt ambushed because Ryan and Taylor showed up. But a well-connected source close to Taylor tells TMZ, Taylor came to Blake's apartment at the time Blake told her to, not knowing anyone else would be there. In other words, Taylor had no idea there was a meeting going on with Justin. The source goes on to say, Justin was about to leave after the 2-hour meeting as Taylor walked in, and she was introduced to him for the first and only time. We're told all Taylor said to Justin was how excited she was to see the movie because he was her friend's boss. Our source says Taylor believes Blake timed her meeting with Justin so Taylor would arrive before he left, and she's baffled by Blake later characterizing her as her dragon. The source adds, it's weird to say that about a friend. Remember, Blake texted Justin after the meeting, referring to herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones and Taylor and Ryan as her protective dragons. And there's more. The source says Taylor is also learning Blake has been inappropriately leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. TMZ dropped a new podcast Wednesday called Two Angry Men, in which Harvey asked Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, about subpoenaing Taylor for a deposition. Definitely check in to see what he says. This is a huge falling out, because remember, Taylor is the godmother to Blake and Ryan's kids. So time will only tell what comes next, I guess. Check into TMZ.com for all updates.
Taylor Swift and Blake Lively used to be inseparable, but they haven't been seen together in 4 months. The last time they hung out publicly was back in October when they went on a double date with their partners Ryan Reynolds and Travis Kelce, and Manhattan fans started noticing something was off when Blake skipped the Super Bowl earlier this month. Instead of her usual crew, Taylor was surrounded by Ice Spice influencer Ashley Egan and the H sisters Elena Este and Danielle. Things took a turn last month when Taylor got caught up in a massive legal battle between Blake Ryan and It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, who was accused of physical harassment by Blake, fired back with a $400 million countersuit. He even claimed that Blake used Taylor to pressure him during a meeting about a rooftop scene edit. According to him, Taylor's presence made him feel like he had to go along with Blake's script changes. And if that wasn't messy enough, Blake reportedly compared herself to Game of Thrones character Khaleesi in a series of texts calling Ryan and Taylor her dragons. These messages, which were included in court filings, made it look like she was trying to intimidate Baldoni.
You see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years, Khaleesi. That's her riding her dragon. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones. And that's what Blake Lively says in a text message, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. That's, again, believed to be the other person. And that they are powerful advocates for her. And while it seems to be said like, I'm so lucky that I have them as great storytellers to help me rewrite the script, what Brian Friedman alleges is, you'll go along or I'll unleash my dragons on you, you loser who no one's ever heard of. They took control of the script. Blake personally, with Ryan's help, rewrote scenes, again, not within the purview of an actress. And then after that, they have text messages in which Blake tells Justin, this is in the latest lawsuit, you know, I know you've never watched Game of Thrones, but when you get around to watching it, you'll realize I'm Khaleesi and these are my dragons. And I have the best dragons in the business, right? Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
And I have to say that the blowback to Ryan Reynolds, I think, is going to be pretty severe because his whole image is this cool guy who's very easy to get along with, friends with everybody, jokey. But if it turns out that he's standing sort of in the wings of the shadows, ready to go after anybody who crosses Blake Lively's bizarre machinations, that's not a great look for him.
Sources say Taylor was blindsided by the whole situation. She apparently never planned to be at that meeting in the first place, and only found out about it when she arrived at Blake's New York penthouse and saw it was still happening, feeling like she's already being pulled away. More than she ever wanted, she's now stepping back from Blake to avoid getting dragged in even deeper for now. It looks like their friendship is on hold. But will they patch things up? Only time will tell.
Blake Lively has bragged about her big friendships in Hollywood, but it seems like she's losing her steam, and now she was just dropped by Taylor Swift. Blake Lively and Taylor Swift first became acquainted in 2015 when Blake Lively did an ad for L'Oreal and she mentioned Taylor Swift's song Bad Blood in the Instagram post. And because of that, a few months later, the two decided to meet in Australia while Taylor Swift was forming a concert and they formed a friendship there. In 2021, Taylor Swift decided to help out Blake Lively's career because she was trying to be a director, so she let her direct her music video, I Bet You Think About Me. Now that friendship's being put through the rocks because Justin Baldoni in his lawsuit against Blake Lively has named Taylor Swift, saying Blake Lively would use Taylor as a weapon against him. With a big example being a fight that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had when making It Ends With Us, where Blake Lively wanted to rewrite that Justin Baldoni didn't want to do. Blake Lively invited Justin Baldoni over to dinner where Taylor Swift was there, and Taylor Swift was trying to put pressure on Baldoni to change the script to the way Blake Lively wanted it. Justin Baldoni also said that Blake Lively threatened to ruin his career, saying she was a Khaleesi and had her dragons, referring to Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. That friendship looks to be over because the two haven't been seen together in months, and Blake Lively hasn't attended any football games with Taylor Swift. So it looks like the Khaleesi lost one of her dragons to the Night King, and with that, I'm Charles Peralta.
Blake Lively is facing major backlash, with some comparing her to a villain who let trauma and revenge take over. And now Justin Baldoni is adding fuel to the fire with new claims in his lawsuit. He alleges that Blake used her close friendship with Taylor Swift to get her. Behind the scenes, according to Baldoni, Blake even hinted that she might change her mind about reaching out to Taylor to secure the rights to My Tears Ricochet for a project, suggesting that her connection with the pop star gave her some leverage.
Camera angles there that look very familiar and that Blake Lively would certainly know because she did almost the exact same scene with the guy who's now her husband back when he was playing Green Lantern.
You mean the
That would
movie
be Ryan
where
Reynolds.
they fell in love, Charles?
Yes.
With each other?
Certainly made it seem that way with the text to Justin. And I think, honestly, that text to Justin is saying, look at the power I have.
Right.
I have Taylor
Exactly.
Swift.
And we're told, too, that Taylor, because obviously these text messages became public in the lawsuit that Justin had filed. And when Taylor saw the actual text between Justin and Blake, you know, obviously she saw that Blake referred to her as the dragon, she's Khaleesi. And we're told that Taylor felt that's kind of weird to say about a friend. It's weird to call a friend a dragon. And, you know, Blake tried to say in her text message something like, you know, these two are my dragons. They stand up for me when I can't stand for my.
Taylor and Blake have been tight for over a decade, celebrating big moments together, and Taylor even name-dropped Blake's kids in her music. When rumors first started swirling about tension between Blake and Baldwin last August, Taylor seemed to stand by her. Blake was even spotted at Taylor's Island mansion with Ryan Reynolds, apparently trying to escape the chaos.
He's suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for $400 million. That's obviously a shit ton of money, and more has been revealed in this lawsuit, including a bunch of texts from Blake Lively to Justin Baldoni.
She sent, allegedly, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
What? Excuse me.
Yeah.
What is that text? First of all, I don't know if Blake Lively remembers how Game of Thrones ended.
Right.
With that text message. Two, I don't think Taylor Swift would like to be called like a little minion. Like saying it's my little dragon is basically like I have a little minion. I have a little minion named Taylor Swift. And Ryan Reynolds.
I mean,
my little
you
monsters.
can't be calling yourself Khaleesi.
No,
you just can't.
Calling yourself Khaleesi.
No.
These are my little monsters. And
no.
What?
No.
Like, when I first saw those messages from Blake Lively, I was like, are these photoshopped? Like, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But as time passed, people started taking a closer look at Blake's past actions. And things got even messier at SNL 50. The anniversary special. Ryan Reynolds seemed to joke about the drama during a bit with Tina Fey. When she greeted him, he sarcastically responded, "Great, why?" What have you heard? Fans were not amused. Many accused the couple of trying to laugh off months of negative press and use their Hollywood status to win back public favor.
Question? Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Blake's lawsuit against Baldoni was already making waves. Before this, she accused him of physical harassment, claiming he showed her explicit images of other women, talked about his struggles with pornography, and made inappropriate comments about her looks and weight. Blake Lively's accusations against Jane the Virgin star Justin Baldoni just kept piling up. She claims he once entered her trailer while she was completely nuded, and even allowed his friends to watch her film intimate scenes. On top of that, she says he created a hostile work environment that made things unbearable on set. But Baldoni isn't staying silent. In court filings, he accused Blake and Ryan Reynolds of trying to undermine him and take control of It Ends With Us, where he was both director and co-star. Both sides are denying the claims made against them, making this legal battle even messier. Blake and Taylor have been close friends since 2015. And over the years, they've shared some seriously sweet moments, vacationing together, celebrating birthdays, and even featuring Blake's kids' voices in one of Taylor's songs. Whether it was red carpet appearances or public shoutouts, their friendship always seemed rock solid. But now fans are wondering if things have changed.
Winter might love her, and she is besties with probably the most famous person on the planet, but Blake Lively is not a box office sensation. She just isn't. And that's okay. She is firmly on the B list. I'd say B minus, maybe solid B. But this man had to endure with A+ list ego while they were filming their movie It Ends With Us.
Taylor has always been open about her close friendships, and Blake was definitely part of her inner circle. But how did this A-list friendship even start? It all began in 2015 when Blake playfully referenced Taylor's Bad Blood music video in a L'Oreal campaign. The ad featured Blake, John Legend, and other celebrities, and she joked that Legend should cover the song. Some fans thought she was throwing shade, but Blake quickly cleared it up in a now deleted Instagram post. In the post, she gushed over Taylor, even joking about wanting to marry her. She wrote about how amazing Taylor was for making her niece feel like a rock star backstage at a concert. She even playfully suggested combining their last names, Blake Swift Lively forever. Fast forward to now, and their friendship isn't looking as picture perfect as it once did, with Taylor seemingly separating herself. Fans can't help but wonder, is this the end of their iconic bond? December 2015. The friendship begins. Some of their old posts have been deleted, but luckily people captured the moment their friendship became official. That December, Taylor and Blake took a fun trip to Australia, where they visited the Warner Brothers movie World theme park in Queensland. In one cute photo, they can be seen jumping in the air together, perfectly in sync. July 2016 squad goals at Taylor's 4th of July party. Taylor's legendary 4th of July party was the place to be in 2016. That year, her then-boyfriend Tom Heston joined the festivities along with Blake and Ryan Reynolds. A photo from that night showed the couple cuddled up next to Taylor and Tom, but it has since disappeared from the internet. December 2016, Blake's sweet birthday post. The day after Taylor turned 27, Blake posted a heartfelt Instagram tribute. In the caption, she gave Taylor a special shout-out, saying she wasn't just someone she loved, but also someone she truly liked, a rare and adorable friendship moment.